Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today is December 29th, 2020, last news of the year, and the news are brought to you by Catlabs of JP, which is a store based in Boston, sells worldwide film items like medium format, 35, and specialized mostly in large format cameras like the ones behind me. And starting off with the news with them, Lenstab has sort of joined forces with Catlabs. Lenstabs are these rings for rangefinder lenses, so you can have that tab like the one you have in some Leica lenses. So they started distributing them through Catlabs. They used to be available years and years ago. I hadn't seen anything from them till now. So if you feel like getting something for a lens that's a rangefinder and you need it for either gloves, maybe you've got arthritis or something like that, this is a great option for you. And then there's a little update. That's why I have this little bingo here. The bingo is happening the 31st. Remember, I'm giving away this Mamiya RZ67 with another 44 items. And there are multiple items that are more than one. So there's more than 45 prizes, but I have 45 listing. And how is it going to work? I'm going to have this little bingo, which is already being tested by my family during this Christmas holiday. And basically, I'll be coming out with a number, and the number that comes out, in this case it's 81, which you can barely see. I'll only put as many numbers as prizes, so 45 for now, and then that will go into a randomator and we'll choose a comment from that video, the one of the film photography bingo. And then we'll contact that person, they'll send us an email with the information, and they will win the prize. So basically that's how it's going to work. That's why I have this little bingo here, which is quite noisy. And let's put it down. So that's happening the 31st, so 2 days from today. We have a medium format auto scanner. This is brought to you by Duck After Duck. It's this guy I've mentioned you before that made a 35 automatic scanner too. He's made a medium format one with a LiDAR sensor. So it's open project, so you can print it at home. You can make it, you can buy the LiDAR. It has all the manuals and the pieces and the parts and how much it is. Super cool for those people that are do-it-yourself. I'm not that kind of person either, so maybe for those guys you just have to wait for a commercial option for medium format. Then we have an APS Reel made out of 3D printed that's been coming out on the news recently. We've had the Jobo 110, we've had the APS, and now different reels for 3D printing, which makes you use those specific formats that are not so mainstream nowadays. Then we have Japan Camera Hunter coming out with a film box makeover. So Japan Camera Hunter Streetpan 400 is a black and white film he came out with a couple years ago. He wasn't happy with the look of the boxes, and he's made a new branding for the film boxes. Film is the same, everything's the same, but the film and the canister are different now. It has a bit more of a retro vibe to them. Then we have news from Silvergrain. Silvergrain Classics, the magazine about analog photography, that's a physical magazine, is doing a webinar, kind of like a fireplace webinar. First one's today, 29th at 7 p.m. Central European time, which for those people in the West Coast is a little early. Actually, we have guests like Jobo CEO Johannes Brockenmuller, we have Nick Carver, we have Andy Church from Kodak Alaris, and a couple other people. There's going to be more webinars, and I think some of them I'm going to be participating too. So it's pretty cool. First one is free at least. I don't know the other ones will have a cost or not. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. Then Valoi Kickstarter still running. They've got fully funded. And if you've noticed, I just pulled out, this is the Valoi basically beta unit. And the people at Valoi, Harold, sent me this to make a little video on it. This is totally beta. As you can see, it has the Lego wheels and all that, which is of course not going to be coming out in the production unit once they start making it. This is a Kickstarter, there's 14 days left, and I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys want to see from this system? I actually have some video ideas on it, but I want to know what you guys want. This is not a full production, so I'm not going to go specifically to like beat it up and say if it's scratching film or anything like that, because it's not a production unit. That will come later down the road. So it's more about like a concept video on the Valoi holder. I have it here. They kindly send it, and I really would like to know what you guys want to know about this. It is priced very nicely at around 139, 140 euros for the whole kit you see here, but you can also buy like independent parts for like 20 euros plus shipping, which is pretty much ridiculous considering what's going out there in the film holder devices. So yeah, that's the Valoi thing. Then talking about film holders, Negative Supply has announced that their 4x5 film holder, which came with an acrylic plate to scan or digitize your 4x5, now is coming with an Antinewton glass. I don't know if it's an option or it's now coming with the glass. The problem with the acrylic is that it would gather a bit of static, so cleaning it and scanning was always a bit more of a hassle than a proper glass with Antinewton etching. Antinewton, what it will do is it will prevent those Newton rings to coming out in your scans, which we all know come to love when you're scanning on an Epson or something like that. Even on the enlarger, sometimes it happens. Then we have news from Keks. Keks has come out with 28 and 35 millimeter viewfinders. As you all know, when you're using a very wide lens or maybe a lens that doesn't have the frame lines for your camera, I'm talking about rangefinder cameras, they used to sell, or they sell the, for example, Voigtlander viewfinders or Leica viewfinders, which usually are pretty expensive, I have to admit. And Keks has made a 28mm and a 35mm viewfinders, and the optics are resin, but they say it's pretty clear, and the price is really, really inexpensive at $30 US for either or the 28 or the 35. So very excited about that. And the plastic is not 3D printed, it's inject mold, which is pretty nice. Or inject, I don't know if that's how you say it. You guys know what I mean. Then we have Xtol issues. Supposedly Kodak has made some batches of Xtol chemistry for developing film that have some problems. So I'm going to leave the batches on the screen right now for like 3-4 seconds. And I'm also going to leave them in the description below, plus the email you have to write to get in contact if you have one of these batches, so they can figure out what's going on with the batch, if you need to get it, reimbursed or an exchange, replacement, whatever it is. Kodak has been kind of not very lucky with the chemical department lately, probably due to Tatanel going bankrupt and maybe them finding different suppliers and the supplier quality chain not being the best. That's all my impressions, but just in case. Then we have a new lens by MS Optics, which never stops making curious and interesting lenses. And this is a 19mm Hipolion M mount. So it's a rangefinder coupled 19mm lens. And the rangefinder coupled thing, now I'm not 100% sure. It goes from f8 to f16. And the lens is so flat that it actually goes into the camera body. So it doesn't even protrude outwards. So very, very minimal lens. If you want to have a lens cap that can shoot, I think this is probably the coolest thing. And price-wise, it's not too crazy at around $750 to like $1,000, depending on the color or paint that you choose. Then we have news from Rezivot, which I announced a couple episodes ago that they were doing a Power Ranger kit for the Polaroid SX70. As you know, Polaroid film for the SX70 and a couple other cameras required batteries in the cartridges, and that is not the best thing for the environment, for recycling and all that, and also the expense. So Rezivot has come out with a battery pack, which they call the Power Ranger Kit, which sounds like the Power Rangers from when I was a kid. And it's black transparent, so like the Game Boy kind of transparent plastic, if you remember that from the 90s or 2000s. And this will help you use the I-type film, so you will save not only money, but environmental, things with so many batteries going into trash or whatever. And you should dispose these properly, but we know what people end up doing. So please, if you can, buy one of these Rezivot little packs and save on that. And that's the news for today. One quick thing. I've launched a new platform in Spanish. I know I've said this like 6 times throughout the years, but this one's with another partner in Spain, and it's called Dispara Film. And here's the icon and the logo animation. And we're basically going to do a community in Spanish. So if you're a Spanish speaker, understand Spanish, want to learn Spanish, or anything like that, anything film is going to be there. Right now, we've only started with a YouTube channel. Going to have a couple of videos every now and then, and it'll become a blog and courses and so on throughout the time. So yeah, guys, I have to say, last news of the year. As always, you can send the information to the email below. Thank you, Catlabs, for sponsoring the news. And I hope you guys have a good end of the year. And I'll see you with the bingo the 31st. A lot more news coming next year, hopefully. Very excited for what might come for the film industry in 2021. So yeah, guys, thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye. Oh my God. Bingo.